Hello there, Nate Jackson, Criterion Collection Reviewer guy here. Well, we're finally at the end of Season 3. Finally. And what can you say? We've had some great movies. We've had some pretty awesome movies. We've had some interesting movies. And of course, we've had bad ones. We've had bad ones, guys. Oh my god, bad ones. Oh my god, bad ones. Anyway, so this is once again the Nate Jackson's top worst 14 from season 3. Spine numbers number 201 to 300. Yes, that's the numbers. 201 to 300. Here we go. Number 14, Robert Altman's Three Women. You know, this movie had me up until the end. The ending was what bothered me about it. I know a lot of it is based on a dream that Altman had. And so it's supposed to be a little surreal, very out there, and that's, I guess that's a decent explanation, but you gotta rationalize them. I mean, it'd be cool if he could have rationalized them, because the ending just makes no sense whatsoever. Why are they all living together? Why is Sissy Spacek's character acting normal again? It doesn't make any sense. Why are the three of them living together, and why are they acting so weird? And why? So it just doesn't work for me because of that. And I don't know. Maybe someday I'll watch it again, and maybe there's one little detail that I've missed, but at the current point in time, I just don't see that happening. So here it is, number 14. Number 13, Pier Paolo Pasolini's Mamma Roma. Now it's not Solo. I was pleased as punch to find out that it wasn't Solo. But it ain't that great. I'm trying to remember the name of the actress. What is her name? What is that actress's name? Who's in Mamma Roma? The star. She was intolerable. Anna Magnani. She's just weird looking. And of course, another movie that ends just abruptly. She runs to see the prison, and that's basically it, So Pasolini, I don't know what was up with that dude, but he was working his way toward his shitsterpiece, his masterpiece of shit, and this is quite a big step up there, Mamma Roma. Number 12, Ingmar Bergman's The Silence. Now, I obviously, understood Bergman a little more through ones that I've liked, like Scene from Marriage and Fanny Alexander, but this was still and I like Wild Strawberries too. And obviously rewatching, movies like The Seventh Seal, I get a better grasp on this. And I think this one, probably deserves a better rewatch, but honestly, I just did not enjoy that one. I feel like with Bergman, there are movies I'm gonna love, and there are movies I'm gonna be okay with, and then there are movies that I'm just not gonna like, and I think The Silence is one of them. I think the sex, obviously it's not supposed to be a movie about sex, it's about faith, The whole trilogy is about faith. But it just doesn't, I think the lack of dialogue is kind of weird. The ambiguity of the relationship between the characters, or like their feelings toward each other, is a little weird, and their actions. And it just wasn't the most comfortable place to, wasn't the most comfortable Bergman movie watch. Definitely not his worst, but I don't know. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and move on to number 11, Ingmar Bergman's Through a Glass Darkly. I couldn't separate those two because it just made sense. Through a Glass Darkly is another one where the plot just is really confusing. And I think the main character, the girl whose name I can't remember, I think her character is annoying to watch. And it's just one of those really confusing movies. and it's not Winterlight. Winterlight of the trilogy, Winterlight was the best, and Winterlight was a pretty good movie. But Through Glass Darkly is just not one of those movies. But it's not as bad as The Silence. I think Through Glass Darkly, I think I think one more character. I think with the Silence, you only have the two sisters and the little boy. I mean, and all the minor characters. And then with Through Glass Darkly, you have the 4 main characters on the island. I think there were only 4 characters. There might have been more, 5 or 6, but I think there were only 4. So it's not as bad, but it's just not his strongest work. And that's basically all I have to say about that. It's not Bergman's strongest work, but maybe in the future we'll rewatch it again and we can revise this list. But I don't know, probably not. It's just not one of those movies I cared much for. But hey, there are some good Bergman movies out there, and at least I have those. Number 10, Michelangelo Antonioni's L'Eclisse, or The Eclipse, or however you want to say it. Oh my God, Monica Vitti, big nose, boring, last 7 minutes, just farted. He just farted for the last 7 minutes. It could have been, like 7 minutes of a butt farting, and nobody would have noticed the difference, So, yeah, it's just I don't get this whole Dark Knight thing. I mean, we haven't gotten to Le Notte, it's going to be another one. But, La Ventura, L'Eclisse, it's just annoying and just not worth your time. And it's worth, if you sit through it, it's worth a hell of a lot of your time. That's the thing, So, let's just not do that, okay? Let's just not do that, okay, guys? Number 9. Shohei Imamura's The Pornographers. I didn't really enjoy this one because I feel like it didn't know. I don't think this movie knew what it wanted to be. I feel like this guy threw in a little too much psychedelica to the movie. I mean, obviously it's black and white, so there wasn't like any colors or trippy things or anything like that. But I feel like what I didn't get was the whole. See, it's hard to understand because it was like, almost, it was a while back. It was, number 207. So it was, and it was one that I didn't have the DVD for, so I had to watch it on, Hulu Plus. And so that was a little more difficult. That was difficult to, watch it through there too. But yeah, I feel like the ending was, I feel like the special effects and, the camera trick camera stuff kind of got in the way of the movie, and I think maybe it was a little overdone, and it kind of left the movie kind of muddled as to what it was trying to do. So yeah, that's why The Pornographers is on the list. And again, maybe another one I'll rewatch, but I can't. I really don't want to watch the ones that are on this list because they're on this list. Enough said. Number 8, Rainer Werner Fassbinder's Lola. Oh, Lola. As I said in my song, the only good thing about that movie is watching her ride on the shoulders of Sugar. Apart from that, it's just a stupid movie about this stripper girl, and she starts screaming her song and tearing her dress, and it's just, why am I watching this? And he marries the girl, and she gets married, and she still sleeps with the guy, and it's like Divorce Italian Style, but it ain't funny. That's the best way, at least the ending. The ending is, is like Divorce Italian Style, but it ain't funny. There you are. Oh, and while we're at it, let's go and move on to number 7. You know what it is. Rainer Werner Fassbinder's The Marriage of Maria Braun. I think this one was, I struggled with this one, because is this one really better? Is this one really better than, is this one really worse? I'm sorry. Is this one really worse than Lola? For now it is, but honestly, I feel like Lola was the better one because the plot didn't annoy me. I feel like Maria Braun's character was more annoying than Lola. Maria Braun, she started off as this, this woman who, got married, and then she just starts controlling men, and, and then the guy finds her in bed with the guy, and, he gets killed, and she doesn't give a shit, and, outside of the scene where toward the end, where she's in the stockings and the garters and all that, and that was pretty hot, and then, of course, the ending, the ambiguous ending. Did she kill herself, or did she just forget to leave the gas? Did she intentionally leave the gas on, or did she forget to leave the gas on? There's no clear way, and that's just. And I think that's something. I think that's something that changed. I think that was something that changed from the novel, and yeah. But still, either or. He didn't have to do it, but he did it, and so. Number 6. Jean-Luc Godard and Jean-Pierre Gorin's Tout va bien, with an exclamation point, because it's Godard, so he has to be all, Now I don't need to say much more, because how I feel about this dude, but it's this weird movie. But it's got Jane Fonda in it. It's freaking Jane Fonda. She's awesome. She's an awesome actress. What the hell is she doing with Godard? What the hell is she doing with Godard? Doesn't make any sense. It's pretty pointless. Let's just pretend like it didn't exist. Anyway, that's that. Godard, whatever. Number 5, Volker Schlondorf's The Tin Drum. If you like movies that are over 2 hours, basically 3 hours of a pint-sized brat with a drum, wearing a drum, and doing this and screaming at the top of his lungs, and breaking shit and having sex with older women, then this is the movie for you. It's not the movie for you. Number 4, Catherine Breillat's Fat Girl. Outside of that one song that they play, not the punk one, but the cool, Brazilian thing or Spanish thing, or I think it was Brazilian. I can't remember. I like that song, but outside of that, there was nothing else to enjoy about this movie. Underage girls having sex, and a girl getting raped, and just a miserable time watching the movie. And not even the alternate ending could save it, and that's where you failed. You have 2 endings, and they both suck balls, which is what obviously the girls in the movie wanted to do. So maybe it all works out. Number 3, Luis Buñuel's The Phantom of Liberty. When a comedy isn't a comedy, it's The Phantom of Liberty. When Monty Python isn't Monty Python, it's The Phantom of Liberty. This movie is supposed to be funny, and I guess it's weird. Yes, it's supposed to be funny, but you have to have just a really particular sense of humor to get this movie, and that's the problem with it. It's not a movie that works for everyone who has it. You can have a sense of humor, but you have to have a particular sense of humor. You have to know what was going on, and I think you do have to actually have a history of what was going on at the time, and back in the 70s, I guess, with Buñuel and all that. It's kind of a topical piece, So, anyway, that's why it's on this list. It's not funny. It wasn't funny then. And it sure ain't gonna be funny in however many years when people pressure me to watch it again, which better not happen. Number 2, Jean-Luc Godard's A Woman is a Woman. Without a doubt, this is probably the worst. This is without a doubt the worst Godard movie we've seen so far. It's pretentious, it's annoying, it's loud, it's confusing, It comes off as a tribute to American musical, but American musicals don't do all that shit, you know? Don't do all the shit that Anna Karina and Friends do in A Woman is a Woman. So that's, you know, that's just, it's just, yeah. And, yeah, I don't need to say anything more. You guys know how I feel about Godard. And I hate that I feel I needed to explain. But, you know, call me a sucker for punishment or a glutton for punishment or whatever. Yeah. God, Godard sucks. And the number one worst movie we've seen this season is Barbara Schroeder's My Tricey. They nailed his penis to a fucking board! And there you have it. Another year. Another bunch of movies that suck. Let's just hope that the next season will bring less of this and it'll be harder to decide, you know, 14 crappy ones. And maybe they won't be so bad. Maybe, I mean, there's some Godard coming. There's always going to be Godard coming, so obviously maybe he'll be just throwaway top of the list, you know. But who knows? There's probably some crappier ones coming. And, oh God, I'm not ready. So until next time, guys, goodbye.